So last time we spoke about nutrition as it pertains to energy, and today we're going to talk about rest, or principally, mainly sleep. And we're going to look at those core principles. But before we do, the disclaimer. If you choose to act on this knowledge, please use your own best judgment. If in doubt, seek professional advice before implementing any of the ideas expressed in this mini-series. You are solely responsible for any outcome, positive or negative, that you obtain by using said ideas. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's get back to sleep. So the first thing, there are three components, main components of sleep: exercise, nutrition, and light. And we're going to look at each one in a bit more detail. So let's start with exercise. When we do, and specifically we're talking about aerobic exercise here, when we do any sort of sustained, and research shows that's over 10 minutes of keeping your heart rate up, any sustained exercise, we release endorphins, which reduces the perception of pain and therefore increases your tolerance to stress. So that's the effect of exercise, because it releases endorphins, and something I forgot to write here is it also increases your production of serotonin, which we will see, actually that comes next. I have written it. Increases the serotonin production, which is a precursor to melatonin. Most people know that melatonin is what gets you to sleep and gives you restful, peaceful, quality sleep. Gets you to sleep and it keeps you asleep. So anything that increases serotonin and thereby increases melatonin is a good thing where sleep is concerned, and that's what exercise does for us. So nutrition. Lithium orotate. This is something that balances mood, which I will get into in another video because it's something very close to my heart, but needless to say, it's also good for just general well-being, not only mood. It's a trace mineral, a salt, that is scarcely found in our food these days because of factory farming and modern agricultural practices. So this is something that you have to supplement. That's lithium orotate. Lithium orotate together with omega-3s, and we're talking about 3 here, not 6. Omega-6 is what most people overconsume because that's found in a lot of our processed junk foods and even foods that most people wouldn't consider junk food, such as refined oils and the like. That's high in omega-6, and that creates an imbalance. We want to get more omega-3s, and that's going to be things like oily fish, sprouted nuts and seeds, nut milks, egg yolks, and then those are the natural sources, and then you have some fortified sources such as cereals and all kinds of other stuff, but we're looking for the natural source. And then finally we have tryptophan, which is an amino acid. It's an essential amino acid, so that means we have to actually we can't, our bodies can't create it. It's one of the I can't remember how many are essential, but of the 21 amino acids, it's one of the essential ones, so we have to take it in via our food. So those three elements combined are what create 5-HTP, which stands for 5-hydroxytryptophan, if I'm not mistaken. So it's as you notice, it's got the name tryptophan in it because these elements, we've got a trace salt, we've got a fatty acid, and then we've got an amino acid, and the salt, fatty acid, and the amino acid combine to make this. And this is this 5-HTP, which this is not essential, by the way. So this is actually found in certain, I think it's just one plant product on Earth. So it's something we can extract from a plant source, unlike tryptophan. And that's why it makes it readily available, or makes it sort of ideal to supplement. And in fact, if you're having sleep problems and mood problems, because mood is tied directly to sleep, 5-HTP is a good supplement, and we're going to talk a bit more about that later. this is the precursor to serotonin, which in the absence of light turns into melatonin. So that's the long journey from food source to melatonin, which is what gives us quality sleep. So that's nutrition. And then finally we have light, and quite simply, light inhibits the conversion of serotonin into melatonin. So this is why it's to be avoided at bedtimes, and this is why we get that shot of cortisol in the morning when the sun streams in through the window. So we want to make sure that we're going to sleep early enough so we can get quality sleep before sunrise. So how can we combine all of these principles and make them work for us? We can do aerobic exercise, preferably every day, 10 minutes or more. We can get enough easily digested protein for the tryptophan in our diets, and oily fish, mackerel, salmon, hemp seeds, egg yolks for omega-3s. So easily digested protein is going to overlap with a lot of these sources, namely the oily fish, because that's an easier to digest protein than say like pork or something like that. That's harder on the digestive system. You can do protein shakes, and that's easy to find on the internet and in shops. Anything that gives readily available protein for people who, you want to look for things that are made for people who are convalescing, who are recovering from illness, because those things are always going to have easy to digest protein. Something that comes to mind now as I dictate this presentation is, I've forgotten the name now, slippery elm. If you get slippery elm from like a health food shop, that's a great source of easy to digest protein. You mix this bark, slippery elm is a tree, and it's ground into a powder, and you mix it with milk, dairy milk, and that makes it much more easy for you to extract the proteins from the casein in the milk. And then you have hemp seeds, egg yolks for omega-3s, and finally to that you should add 5 milligrams of active lithium orotate. If you're unsure of this, obviously check with your doctor, as I said, but this is perfectly harmless lithium orotate, and it's had a bad name in the media because it's confused with its dangerous counterpart, which is lithium carbonate. This is completely different, lithium orotate. You can Google it if you want to look into it. And then consider a sleep stack: L-theanine, which is a green tea extract, plus 5-HTP, which we spoke about earlier, and melatonin. But there's a caveat here, warning: do not abuse the taking of melatonin, as it will compensate your body's own ability to create it. So this sleep stack is for when you travel and you find that you're out of sorts, or if you're having a particularly difficult time sleeping. This is just to kick you back into your normal circadian sleep cycle, the sleep-wake cycle. And avoid, so we spoke about, let's go back, we spoke about exercise, we spoke about nutrition, and then finally light. Avoid artificial sources of light after sunset. And this is easier said than done, because our society is built on doing stuff, lighting up the city after sunset. That's why if you happen to live in a rural area, you're likely to instantly have better sleep and therefore better health. And someone comes to mind, they're probably watching this video, they live in a rural area, and so that's good on them. Avoid artificial sources of light after sunset. How do we do this? We turn down the brightness on mobile and cell phones for the Americans, mobile phones for us Brits. You get Flux, which is a free download. Unfortunately, I believe this is only available for Windows. So if you do Apple or anything else, Ubuntu or anything, Ubuntu, if that's how you pronounce it, then I'm not sure about that. But definitely on Windows, this is a free download, Flux, which simulates sunset and sunrise. So it will it will make your monitors more blue and simulate a sort of moonlit nighttime feel, and then when the sun rises again, it will brighten your screen. So that helps to give you that, trick your brain into thinking that the sun is setting on your monitors as well. Of course, this is not an ideal. Ideally, you should just not watch TV, not have any electronics, and just go to bed. But most people won't be able to do that. So this is a good second option. And then, as I just said, turn the TV off an hour or two before you go to bed. And then finally, use dimmed lights at a distance, because we're not all going to sit in the dark and not do anything. So the second best thing is to dim the lights and keep them, turn the lights off that are in the immediate vicinity, and like put on the hallway light outside of the room and sit in the darkened room, or use lights in the room but dim them right down if you have that function on your lights. If you want to go the extra mile, you can do candles if you really want to get your melatonin going. And that's it. If you combine those principles, I'll be the first to say I don't do all of them, but I do a lot of them most of the time. And if I ever find myself in difficulty, I lean on these principles, and you'll find that thinking about the artificial light around you, installing that F-Lux on your computer, getting in the habit of turning down the brightness on your mobile phone, getting in that nutrition and a little bit of exercise will definitely help you to get more restful and more quality sleep, which will directly impact your trading moving forward. You might not see the results on any one, in fact you won't see the results on a daily basis, but if you do this over the course of several days and weeks and months, you will look back and see that it's directly affected your trading in a positive way. So that's it for this video. Hit that thumbs up if you found it useful, and subscribe for more of this type of content as well as trading content, because once again, for anyone who's new to trading who happens to bump into this video, it's really not about the method, it's about your lifestyle and leveraging that slight retail edge that everyone has access to, but everyone screws up via their own emotions and lifestyle choices. So that's it for now. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.